don't know why I'm nervous, y'all. Hold on. But I'm nervous as a bitch, okay? Excuse my French. Y'all, this is my first podcast episode ever. If you want me to record the video, you literally got to tell me because I don't be knowing this stuff. I don't know what y'all want from me. And I don't never have no clothes on. So I don't know what y'all want. But anyways, child, you read the title. You know what the hell I'm talking about. Welcome to episode 1 of Life with Lexis Kai podcast. I'm your cousin, Lex, your coach, your hype girl, your all that. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea about my podcast, okay? This is not just about quitting jobs, just to quit a job, especially in this economy, girl. I don't really care about the economy, honestly. Money not real. It's not about chasing money, because we don't chase nothing. We receive over here. It's about making aligned moves, brave moves that actually moves you towards a life that feels like yours. Okay. So today I'm going to tell you the real story about how I left teaching, took a leap of faith into a whole new role that looked perfect on paper, then turned around, realized that wasn't for me, and made the decision to inch closer and closer, step by step, to my own version of Living Life Lavish. This podcast is a part of my Living Life Lavish, y'all. And I'm slowly but surely taking myself outside of my comfort zone, getting closer to what I actually want to achieve and accomplish. Now, by the end, you'll know exactly how you can start taking your own steps as well. So, before we get started, in this episode and in every episode, we're going to set an intention for the episode with an affirmation, okay? So if you are not into that, go ahead and hang up the call, baby, because this is not even a podcast for you. You on the wrong one. But if you over here and you part of my collective, you part of my family, my listening group, my audience, okay, you're going to go ahead and sit. Let's take a deep breath. Another deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. And our affirmation for today's episode is, I release everything that no longer serves me, and I welcome the life that was meant for me. I release everything that no longer serves me, and I welcome the life that was meant for me. All right, so keep that in your heart while we talk today. So let's set the stage. It's 2021. I'm a new graduate, or I'm about to graduate, and I ain't got no money. Okay? I ain't got no money. Why? I live in Tallahassee. I'm work from home, making $14.50 an hour. Okay? I'm living in the projects. If you know about Houghton Street, you know. Okay? If you know, you know. And I had 2 little girls. So y'all already know I had my babies in high school, in middle school, in college. Okay? So I always had kids. If you never see me with my kids, you ain't never really seen me for real, because I always got my kids. And maybe in another episode, we'll just talk about my journey through motherhood and in motherhood and how I'm, going through the hood, which is motherhood. But long story short, your sister could not be broke. I didn't have no time for being broke. So I had to figure something out. And not even that I had to figure something out, right? 2021 is the beginning of a lot of what I got going on right now. So, and maybe we'll talk about that too. But right now, I need you to know I quit my job. Now, when I wrote this title for this blog post, I had quit teaching and went into this new job. But since I've actually sat down and started recording this episode, y'all, I've quit probably like 2-3 jobs by now. Okay. So we're still in 2021 now. I'm looking, what am I going to be able to do? I'm doing my research. I'm liking Houston. Cost of living is not bad. Economy is booming. and Black people is making it and thriving there, based off what I can see from my preliminary research. So I decide to move to Houston and teach. Now, just to give a little backstory, my bachelor's degree is in criminology. So I have a double major degree. Criminology was my primary major. So I had no background in education. Okay. But I had studied, the intersectionality between poverty, crime, and education. Basically, if you are not on grade level, reading level by the third grade, you are 3 times more likely to be incarcerated in your lifetime. And that's statistics. Those old statistics, they might have changed. It might be more like, closer to 4%, four times more likely or whatever. But I had been studying in my undergraduate studies how education impacts a life of criminality. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go to law school because I'm Captain Saberho. I'm going to go to law school and I'm going to change the world by being a teacher. Okay. That's how I got into education. Some people know, some people don't, but that's how I got into education. Bitch wanted to be a Captain Saberho. Okay. So now fast forward, it's 2024 and I've been an educator for 3 years now. Listen, I was a great teacher. I loved my students. I loved the impact, but I could feel my season in the classroom coming to an end. And it was coming to an end because I was bored with it. And I had a conversation with my DOI, who is kind of like my coach, okay, my instructional coach. And I was telling her, yeah, I'm bored with what I'm doing. This is October 2023. So this 2024 hasn't even gotten here yet. I'm telling her, I'm bored with what I'm doing. I want to do something else. And she's kind of like, what you want to do? Well, what do you want? And I'm like, girl, I don't know what I want, but I know I don't want this no more. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm done with this right here. So I decide I'm leaving teaching. And like I said, y'all, I quit 2.5 jobs. So leaving teaching was so dramatic. It was scary. I didn't have anything figured out. I tried to, just up and quit, then end up going on, FMLA for 2 weeks and then realize, dang, I really do want to quit when I got back. It was just a mess, girl. If y'all want me to talk about that, I can talk about that too. But I just wanted to keep going on my path. Like, I felt like my purpose, whatever I was supposed to be doing, as long as I was making strides in the right direction, that I would eventually end up where I was supposed to be. And sure enough, a new role popped up. It seemed better, right? It had a better title, a hybrid schedule, decent pay. So on paper, it felt like the glow up that I had been praying for. I was praying for a glow up. But y'all, the reality did not match. Right? Yes, the role was prestigious. Now, when I say prestigious, I mean I worked for an organization that had been around for 50 years. They were known in the economic development space, a space that I was new in, and I had no idea what it entailed, especially in Houston, an area that I'm not from, right? But the time there, while short, it was invaluable, okay? Some things money just cannot buy, and I think experience is one of those things. But check me out. I ain't leave one job to be broke at another job. Like, I didn't leave to be broke. I didn't leave teaching to be. My first mistake, and this is, if you don't learn nothing else from the entire episode, this is the thing that you need to learn. Do not settle on your non-negotiables. I had a non-negotiable for leaving teaching, and that was 70,000 or more. My first mistake was leaving education for less than 70,000. Not only that, but the work was draining. The paycheck, I ended up making less than I was making teaching. Even though I was working longer hours and commuting longer and just, I don't know. It was supposed to be easier, but it wasn't. Now, the joy. Now, don't get me wrong. I did tell y'all I used to cry all the time. I don't know if I told y'all this. Maybe this was on take one. But I used to cry every day going to work. Like, I used to cry all the time. I used to cry in my classroom in the morning. I used to cry on my lunch break. But I enjoyed the badass kids. Working that job with them people and that man. Working that job with them people and that man. Now, if you ain't never had a job where your boss, she thought she was the HBIC and she ran the business like that, then you blessed, you lucky, because bitch, that shit was a mess. Now, anyways, I remember one day just looking at my bank account one payday and just being like, this ain't right. I mean, I did the math and sent an email and all. I was like, I don't think this is right. That was my wake up call. I had left teaching to feel more free, to feel more in control, to feel more aligned, to get more of my life back. And somehow I ended up putting myself in a different kind of box. And that's when I decided no more boxes, no more turf grass, pretending to be green grass. I wanted the real thing, even if it meant starting from scratch. Now, this is where I pivot into my Living Life Lavish. So for me, lavish living isn't about money. It's not about flexing for Instagram. It's not about the pictures. It's not about the content, right? It's about alignment, freedom, and joy. It's about waking up and actually liking the life that I'm living. No more crying sitting in traffic. You get what I'm saying? No more road rage. No more sleeping my days away on the weekend. Like really enjoying every aspect of my life. Now, this is how I define my Live Life Lavish. It's in 3 parts. 1, living in alignment. 2, breaking the mold. And 3, trusting the process. So, living in alignment. For me, I learned about human design. Now, y'all might hear on the podcast, I'm going to talk about human design. I'm going to read that Bible and I'm going to do both. Okay. And my God, he knows me. He called my name and he told me to do this and he gave me human design to help me understand myself. So that's between me and him. The rest of y'all hoes got to figure that shit out. Now, learning about human design and my human design, I learned that I am a 6'2" emotional manifesting generator, right? Me learning that really gave me the okay, like, bitch, when you get bored, that shit is not meant for you anymore. People, places, things. When you start getting bored with something, that means it's time to pivot. Manifesting generators, take note. When the shit start getting boring to you, it's time to pivot. It's time to move around. Nothing wrong with that. You're not a quitter, right? You're just a pivoter, all right? And even me being an emotional or having emotional authority, I have to pay attention to my emotions. I can't just leave it at the door. Huh? That sounds like hell. You want me to be in a profession where I have to actually let go of my human experience? So, bitch, you want a robot in here. That sounds like AI. Okay? And I couldn't do it. And that's in any role. That's even in the role that I'm in right now. If I have to abandon my spiritual and emotional awareness, it's not for me. 2, breaking the mold. That's just what I was talking about. There is no one size fits all when it comes to this life thing. And human design also teaches me that, or taught me that. It taught me that I am a once in a lifetime cosmic event. There is nobody else like me. There will never be another Lexis Kai again. Even if I searched that hoe up, you wouldn't find her. You get what I'm saying? Because this mindset and this lifestyle is custom built for me. Because of that, nobody else is going to want what I want or do it how I do it. So your lavish lifestyle might look like traveling. It might look like being a stay-at-home mom and raising your babies. Or it might look like being the mommy mogul running a business from Bali, running a business from Puerto Rico, running a business from the coast of Africa. Live Life Lavish is not one size fits all, but I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get the lavish lifestyle I wanted in that classroom. But the hardest thing and the biggest thing, y'all, is really trusting the process. If you are enjoying the type of content I make, whether that's on the blog, whether that's on TikTok, whether that's now on this new platform, the podcast, you will understand that I'm trusting God with my whole being. This is not even my life. This is his life. You get what I'm saying? And you don't have to see the whole staircase to make the first step. Really, there is not going to be nothing but the first step. I was talking to somebody and I was like, it is so much easier to live the life that you were made to live instead of the life that people think you should live. And they were like, well, if it was so easy, everybody would be doing it. And the real reason why it's not easy is because nobody is willing to make that first choice or that first step. This first step for me is sitting down at my desk, recording the podcast. I was feeling self-conscious. I couldn't record the video. I recorded just the audio. I don't know how long this video or this audio is going to be or this episode is going to be, but I'm getting this first product out and I'm not even going to re-record it. I'm going to publish it ugly as hell because I have to trust my process. I have to fall in love with what I'm doing, right? My first step was saying, this role is not for me. My next step was me leaving that role to find what was. So I'm leaving y'all with some homework. Here is your Lavish Life homework for episode 1. I want you to write down one thing that you've been tolerating that doesn't serve you anymore. Then I want you to write the tiniest first step that you can take immediately. Immediately is today, tomorrow, towards letting that thing go. That's how change starts, one step at a time. Family, I want you to remember, quitting isn't failure, especially if you're a manifesting generator. Quitting is probably the best thing you can do. Sometimes that's the greatest act of faith, is by quitting something that you know is not good for you. I left teaching. I left a job that wasn't the right fit. And now I'm in the middle of creating a life that's mine, that's perfect for me. People are starting to call me the mommy mogul. I have created that name and now people are starting to reference me as such. If you're ready to start moving towards your own lavish life, I want to invite you into something special. So I have the founding circle of Live Life Lavish University. This is going to be my signature program where I help you uncover your purpose, understand your human design, and actually start building the life that you've been dreaming about. So far, I have 1 sign up. Y'all, let's give a round of applause. Ads Lab Track here. So founding members will be able to get a lifetime access, exclusive bonuses, and a front row seat as we shape this movement together. So if you're looking to grow, you're wanting to set your roots with me, let's grow together, honey. Now you can learn more about that and join us at lifewithlexiskai.com. That's LifeWithlexiskai.com. As always, subscribe to the blog, subscribe to the podcast. Thank you for listening to this very first episode. If you love it, subscribe, leave a review, share it with your favorite cousin who's ready for more. Share it with your grandma, your auntie, them. I ain't cuss too much, okay? But until next time, y'all, live lavish, love yourself, and trust in your next steps. Blessings. Peace.